So I always enjoy looking at murals and what stories they tell. And this one is talking about the Grand Forks Air Force Base.
Yep, they fly drones now.
A satellite.
I think I'm not sure which drone it is. I'll link the drone in the description below, but they used to fly B-52s. Now they just fly drones.
And the R is for the candy store.
Yep.
And they had a corner coffee stop called Urban Coffee, and they had a restaurant here called Red Peppers, which I was also looking at going to. So, and we know some people from the University of North Dakota.
Exactly, and that little gear thingy right there, we're in a plaza right now because it's the only place we can get service. It was a short tow day after we left the Buffalo Museum, which allowed us to visit the Oscar Zero Minuteman missile site.
From there, we continued our tow day to the Turtle Pond State Park, which was near Grand Forks, North Dakota.
So we took out our Reader's Digest guide again, and we'll show that here. But in North Dakota, the food that they talk about is something called Knoepfla.
And it's spelled differently.
Yeah, it's really spelled weird. We'll put the spelling right below here. But it's based upon a result of the German and Russian immigrants that came to this area. And it's a soup. Give it a shot.
Does it taste like chicken and dumplings? Or is it different?
It does. It's just a good chicken soup.
It's interesting.
It's a little, I thought it'd be more noodly. This is good though.
Okay.
Very good.
And I got the white bean toast with pickled onions. I always enjoy a dish that will inspire me to try something new, and this has a white bean dip on it, and I would like to try a white bean dip on toast as well, because this was very good. The pickled onions really made this, and I also enjoyed it with the capers as well.
Pickled onions match your shirt perfectly.
Yeah, they do. Awesome.
Mine was also good.
Yep. So very good place. This place is called Bernie's.
Eastern Forks, Minnesota, just across the river.
Yes. So it's very good. So I highly recommend this place. The food was excellent, but the thing to look for when you're looking for a place is if it's chef-owned. Because chef-owned means that they're in charge of the quality. And this person was apparently on Food Network, and so I thought this would be a very, very good option for us.
Yeah, she had her own cookbooks there.
Yep.
Food Network chef, you can't beat that. We are at Bernie's.
So we are now in Grand Forks, which is across the river from East Forks in North Dakota, and this type of food also came up under the specialty foods in North Dakota, and it's a chocolate-covered potato chip. So we're going to try it out. And this place was known for making them.
It says the home of the chocolate-covered potato chip.
Absolutely. So we're going to give some a try. So we ended up with the milk chocolate chippers, is what they call them.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
And I think they're rippled potato chips. You'll have to confirm them or not. What do you think? Should be sweet and salty.
Yeah. Really good consistency.
So is it still crisp, like a chip?
Mm-hmm. So it's almost like, you know, like a Kit Kat kind of thing. You know, in other words, you've got the chocolate on the outside, the crispy on the inside, and I think it really works well. And
you got a quarter-pound bag for $4.50.
Yep.
And they also had some bags there for $2.95.
And I got one free sample for buying these.
From their case. That's pretty much of a treat. Awesome.
So we love looking at these old civilian conservation corps buildings and things like that, infrastructure that was built on a lot of these campgrounds. And here we see just a chimney.
Yep.
And they say that in 2000, this building was originally built in 1933, but in 2000, the Turtle River got 17 inches of rain in one day.
Right, and it overflowed its banks.
And it totally wiped out this building. So they actually moved the building up there to higher ground. You can kind of see the building right there.
There's the Turtle River right there.
Right, using the same logs. They even said that they went to the same quarry to get the right rocks.
For the chimney in the lodge, the
And
new one.
And what's really cool is that they have the foundation still here, and they've labeled where the original buildings was. So nice touch to Turtle River State Park.
Right. And yeah, they all have the placements of the rooms and everything.
They say it's a popular place for weddings.
Mm-hmm.
We're here at Turtle River State Park, just outside of Grand Forks, North Dakota. And yeah, this is a beautiful state park. You know, normally I don't like these goofy sidewinder pull-throughs where you kind of do this number, but this one really worked with the site. You can see how they really cordoned it off kind of naturally, so you get this really beautiful area.
So this is our view from our front door, so it kind of hides the other rigs around us.
Yep, you saw we had beautiful, clean, super clean
fire pit.
Campfire pit. We had some great breakfast in this morning. We're starting to grill some chicken for tonight.
Yep.
The water came in at 64 ppm, great water. We're not boosting. The only downside, and let's come on over here. So let's come on over here. The only downside is that this is our Starlink view here, and it's squiffy. It goes in and out. We uploaded the
Tuesday's video, which was the vendor video.
Yep, our little vendor video, and you can see a link to that up there. It took about 2 hours plus. Normally it takes about 20 minutes.
Right.
So it took.
But it gives us enough power to do what I needed to do as far as thumbnail and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it works. It's in, it's out. So that's kind of our first test with trees.
Yep.
I do have my little warning triangle there to make sure I don't run it over at any point.
Yep.
Warning there. But yeah, so that's our first little Starlink difficulty that we've had this trip.
Yep.
We've got our Canadian flag flying. We're just south of the border. And we are contemplating heading to Canada before this trip is over. So yeah.
This was water and electric.
Yep. And it had the nicest bath facilities we think we've ever seen in a campground, and Cindy's going to show you that right now.
Yes, it was like a Hollywood shower in a campground. You can't beat it. So it had all the things. So we will give you a view of that.
These are the bathrooms at Turtle River State Park. Super nice. Lots of hooks. Sink, toilet. And a place to put your stuff while you shower. Very, very nice. And it's just a one room and you have the privacy. So that's awesome.
All right, tonight we are going to recreate the Knoepfla soup that we had at Bernie's. And so I was able to find a recipe just to sort of jump off on. A couple of interesting things about this soup, as this soup was brought to North Dakota and I think a little bit of South Dakota and maybe even a little bit of Minnesota from the German Russian immigrants that kind of came into the area. And you can see a few similarities with some of the German cuisine, especially with the spätzle. The spätzle has a little bit of nutmeg powder in it, and so does this dumpling. So I find that fascinating. The other thing that's very, very interesting about this stew is that it actually has no meat in it. It does have a chicken broth base, but no meat. I think the heartiness comes from the potatoes and from the dumplings as well. My third interesting fact is that the dumplings themselves don't have a lot of baking powder, relatively speaking. I have another chicken and dumpling recipe that's more of a southern style dumpling recipe that has maybe 3 or 4 times as much, or even more than that, baking powder. So I do think these are going to be dense little dumplings. So it should be dense little dumplings, and so it should be very interesting, and we are just going to put this together and see how it goes. And we're going to be serving this with a freshly baked sourdough loaf.
Well, that came out pretty good.
Did come out pretty good, so I'm pretty proud of that. So our broth is coming to a boil, and I'm going to form the Knoepfla dumplings. And what's interesting about the Knoepfla dumplings is the name Knoepfla means in German little buttons. Every recipe I've seen has them about 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. So I think they're going to be toggle buttons. But comment below if you have any more information on that.
If you're a Knoepfla expert.
Absolutely. This is the perfect example of when it's great to use your simmer grate. Great, haha. Yeah, exactly. And it's pulling your soup off of the eye a little bit, and so it's not going to boil over, and we just want a soft simmer on these dumplings because you don't want to break them up.
All right, normally I'm in these videos too, but it's too cold and rainy and I don't want to get the tripod, so we're going to film Cindy by herself assessing this.
There are a couple things that I would have done differently, and I think I would have at least doubled the dumpling amounts.
Yeah, you can't have enough dumplings. Here's a good point. Money, luck, and dumplings are 3 things you can never have enough of.
Absolutely. So that was one thing I would have changed. So all my changes that I'm going to make are going to be reflected in the recipe below. And so hopefully you'll have a good result when you make this, or if you make this down the road.
Why don't you give it a taste?
Yes.
The ultimate taste test.
This is really good. Very nice. The broth has a nice taste and very herbal quality to it. But like I said, it's very weak in the dumpling and the potato department. So if you're not going to add meat to it, kick up the potatoes, kick up the dumplings. That's what I'll say.
That's sound advice. So there you have it, North Dakota.
Yep.
From buffaloes and bisons to nuclear weaponry to
a fancy Food Network lunch.
So we had a great time here in North Dakota. We're going to be heading off to our next state. This was actually our last new state for the entire trip here. So I think we're at 41, 42. We'll have to give a final
we missed
count.
Colorado, and that's
that was the one state we were supposed to hit this trip that we missed.
That's going to be a big gap in our map, but such is life.
So if you like this video,
give us a big thumbs up.
And if you think we've earned a subscription, click the subscribe.
And comment below if you went to North Dakota and what your favorite site to see was.
Because we come out with RV and Airstream related videos just like this one every Tuesday.
Thanks for watching.